Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Reverse 1999. Without further ado, let's head back into the math cult and see where we're going to go from here. We got discovered, we are captured, we could possibly get tortured, and we shall see the consequences of our actions
An old
shortly.
admonition is engraved here. Let no one ignorant of geometry or the irrational numbers enter.
I'm also not going to turn on auto mode because sometimes the dead air that goes between conversations is a bit much for me to bear, and I come from a broadcasting background, so having really long times of dead air will only really work if it's necessary. But if it's like it's loading one sequence to another, then I get really uncomfortable for some reason. So, well, then again, that's what was taught to me to prevent such times of dead air to happen. So, I'll just manually get the speech going along. So, let us continue.
37 told me you are the integers. She's the genius kissed by the god of truth. She can see our numbers and has never made a mistake.
I mean, that's why she's so sassy. No wonder she's so sassy. It's because of this. She's a baby, yes, but she will not hesitate to bite you. I mean, as you guys saw in the last video.
But I don't understand. Why would you break the silence at the meeting?
I apologize, Miss Sophia.
Sophia's still very hot, by the way.
I won't defend our behavior.
You may save that apology for later. If you can persuade more than half of the people to vote for your friend's commutation, perhaps she won't be sentenced to death. I have gathered some case files from the past. I hope it will be of some help.
The scroll is lined with golden trim. Even without knowing what it contains, it is a significant gift.
These files are... But won't you be in trouble for helping us?
I have my own reasons.
Sophia closes her eyes, recalling the ancient wisdom.
Integers are the living example of virtues, the standard of purification. It represents a soul existing in the world of forms, a true being. It is the floating points behind the decimal which dent the process of our overall purification. The evil, the ones who violate rules knowingly, the ones who turn a positive number into negatives, and a civil person, a criminal.
The corrector, who has no number, sighs and looks away.
If integers like you would lose your life over some unintentional mistakes, wouldn't it be a great shame? Besides, I can't stand the idea of you being killed in front of me.
Yeah, she doesn't want that kind of blood on her hands, because we're basically tourists here. We don't know exactly how this part of the world works, so at least she sees that, so there's that.
Not rigorous.
What? How long were you listening there? 37 suddenly shows up behind Sophia like an apparition. Stop doing that! You may be a baby girl, but come on. There's a limit to my patience. Her friend is quietly startled. She speaks no words, only moving a little away from her.
For one thing, we still don't know Vertinant's and Netto's numbers. For another, the fact that every crow we've seen is black doesn't necessarily entail that the next crow will also be black.
I have no idea what that means, 37. You'd better explain it to me.
Even if every virtuous person we met has been an integer, we can't be certain that the next one will still be an integer.
Right. That sentence I sort of get, okay?
Same case for irrational numbers.
Yeah. Regulus is an entirely different case on our own. We'll deal with that when we get there.
You're right, 37. But people always tend to believe that virtuous people are integers. That is what we call belief.
That's a bit shallow, but hey, you do you.
Correct. But not entirely correct. Everyone can make mistakes.
Exactly.
Numbers are just numbers. They are not associated with virtues.
Unlike me, you're always right, 37.
Of course she is. She's a baby, and anybody who says otherwise is wrong.
I don't know what differs us.
Sophia sighs and shifts her gaze.
Will you be at the assembly?
Yes.
Then I will leave them with you. I'm not qualified to set foot in the Hall of Truth. I have done poorly in receiving the guests. I will ask Six for my punishment after the assembly.
I'm also noticing how they do the that hand sign that Sophia did just now. I think it's 2 triangles on the chest. If I'm following the lines correctly, ignoring her cleavage and all, but yeah, probably has something to do with the sign that you see whenever 37 does her ultimate. So maybe I may just be reading too much into this, but I guess we'll get an answer somewhere. Or it could have something to do with the pattern on her on the coat. I think that's a coat. I'm not quite sure. I'm not too familiar with ancient Greek fashion, sadly, so I don't know exactly what that cloth on her body is called, so I'll probably get to my research after the fact.
Huh? So you are not coming back to my laboratory? Neither will you help me review the calculation results or sort out the books?
Let's see if her persuasion check is gonna pass.
The scripture shall not be challenged.
Shit, she failed.
What's more, any students here can help you in the laboratory. It doesn't have to be me.
But I wanted to be you. That's exactly what she said here. 37 is disappointed. She lowers her head and kicks away a tiny piece of rock.
Had I known, I would have let someone else welcome Vertin and her friends.
She's pouting. I can hear it in her voice. She's pouting.
Like 210. He loves to brag to young ladies so much that he would take the punishment willingly, right?
Oh my god, that bastard. Right. The guy who was in the assembly hall.
You were that someone else who was assigned to receive them in the first place. If I hadn't stopped you in time, how much longer would Regulus's head have stayed in your mouth?
I plead the fifth.
Not to mention what happened last time. And the time before that.
Jesus Christ, this child.
But the fact that I have messed up all the receptions before doesn't mean I may excel in the next one.
That is not... Oh my god, this... You do your best, okay? You just keep doing your best there, 37. You're not exactly in the right headspace, but your heart's right there, so good on you, I guess. Gold star.
The chances of messing up the first reception and the 100th reception are the same.
Oh my god, that is not...
Whatever you say, you little sophist.
Oh my... That sounded like a slur. Jesus Christ, Sophia. She puts down the file and leaves in a hurry. Huh. Well, she is a nice person.
Everyone says so. But compliments won't help her find her number.
37 drops her head, but soon her face is lit with an excited smile again, like a child who has found a piece of candy.
So, Vertin, are you ready for the debate?
Maybe.
Does that mean you will help us?
Of course. I don't want to miss the chance.
What chance?
The chance to see your numbers. There's no greater knowledge than the knowledge of oneself. And there's no more exciting truth than the truth of oneself. I can quickly tell which types of numbers you are, but it requires proof to know the exact number of your soul. I want to know the answer before you see your own numbers. So it's 37 who proves it, not Vertin.
That's a bit prideful of you, but you're a baby. You're baby. You baby. So you just deserve head pats instead. There. There you go. All right.
I'd be glad to give this chance to you.
37 turns down the corners of her lips discontentedly.
That's boring. Let's go, Vertin. The assembly's about to start.
Right. Heading back into the halls. In pairs and dozens, the Apeiron... Is it Apeiron? Apeiron? The Aperon believers enter the venue. I'll just know how it's pronounced. I already forgot how it's pronounced. The plaintiff and the defendant are also seated. Yeah, I can... even I would be nervous in a situation like this. Treated as a criminal in a foreign land.
Don't worry, Timekeeper. I'll defend myself.
She looks pale, but she is gazing steadily at the front. Well, this isn't exactly the first time you've been into a pseudo-court hearing, but this one involves even more people, and I'll never forget that the first time Soneto was involved in a court hearing, she literally brought out her inner Italian and did the hand sign, the Italian hand sign, and I was busting my gut laughing at that exact moment.
Back in the Foundation, I once won a public debate of a similar nature.
Oh, she's referencing it right now.
This is my duty. I won't let it get in the way of the team's investigation.
Soneto.
You don't need to do it alone, you know. She lowers her head in silence, then sets off resolutely to the center of the hall. This scene is all too familiar. Inside the hall, a judge sits in authority. Oh, hey, Six.
By our tradition, Miss Soneto will be given the poisoned wine, so she will be muted and stay that way forever. However, Sophia raised her objection against the decision. After giving the matter some discreet thought, I have decided it is necessary to hold an assembly and take care of it democratically. Those of you who agree to the death sentence may remain seated. Those of you who wish to commute Miss Soneto's punishment, please put your pebble into the pot in the middle of the hall. Now, Miss Soneto, Miss Vertin, you may defend yourselves. Until the sand in this hourglass falls to the bottom.
Oh, they have 3 minutes. Truly, this is a formidable war. Relax and take a deep breath. Do as the training taught you.
I am Soneto from St. Pavla Foundation. I wish all the honorable audiences here would lend me their ears to hear my defense as a humanitarian gesture.
I thought there was another sentence after that, but Soneto just started talking about it, so go on ahead, girl.
What number are you?
A sharp question is thrown at them from the auditorium.
Defendant, the court requires an answer. What is your number?
What? Me? No, I don't have a number.
Don't waste our time. People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. All her words are void. Sentence her to death now!
The crowd mumbles approval. The judge knocks at the stone bell.
42's argument is valid. Defenders, what do you wish to contend?
This battle's going to be a lot harder than I thought.
What? It's valid?
Soneto's face has gone pale. What she has prepared, formal justice, procedural justice, or the training she had, simply has no effect here. This is a new territory.
Objection!
There she is. A petite figure stands up from the auditorium.
According to the record, the last time we inflicted severe punishment was in 1980 to a visitor who ate beans. He ate a carbuncle that feeds on beans. Then he was sentenced to death according to the set theory. In our scripture, eating beans is the most evil sin, which undoubtedly fits the most severe punishment. But if we are now executing people for breaking the silence at the assembly, how would it reflect our attitude towards the consumption of beans? Has the latter become less sinful? I suggest Soneto's punishment to be commuted.
The crowd starts to clamor.
A good argument.
37's argument is deemed valid. The debate will continue.
37 sits down, feeling satisfied. Then a tall man languidly stands up.
Objection. The punishment for eating beans is to throw the offenders into the Gorgon current, while the punishment for the silence breaker is to drink poisoned wine. Among all the punishments we have, there's no other punishment more dreadful than being thrown into the Gorgon current. Because eternity and infinity are the two things we have the least knowledge of, which makes them the most ghastly punishments among all.
Jesus.
Giving her the poisoned wine doesn't make the consumption of beans less sinful. Her argument is invalid.
The objection comes quicker than the knock on the stone bell.
Objection! Both
of the crimes would fall into the same category if we are taking the punishment as a frame of reference, which is death.
Objection. The two crimes in question are not commensurable, which makes your comparison invalid.
The debate is heating up. The crowd is becoming restless. More and more pebbles are thrown into the pot.
What's this? I'm completely lost in this irrational debate. I see. So that's how it works. Timekeeper? Relax. I will help you.
Calm down. Raise your right hand. This is just a debate. It's not about reality, justice, and reason. It's all about winning.
I object.
I'll just skip past this, and we'll just move right back into the story after the fact.
I'd like to start by quoting 42's first argument.
Never mind. I guess we'll be having the story as the debate is going, so I guess I will include this combat segment. And I just realized that this is a pseudo 1v1, similar to how Soneto dealt with it the first time.
People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. In that case, it's not possible for Soneto to commit a crime in the Hall of Truth, because she can't even be in the hall.
What?
Good point, Vertin. This is our chance to out-argue them.
And I think that's it. So we transfer these,
Loading.
and then we shoot this guy to
Aim
death,
and shoot.
which deals a significant amount of damage. Like, holy crap.
Shell. Damage.
That's barely any damage. That's also barely any damage. So we do
Circuits
this,
functioning properly.
and then I
Allow
hit
me
him with
to
this,
double check the battery
which
level.
is extreme
Robot, child
overkill.
of science.
So I am not quite sure why I'm even doing this. But I would assume, safe to assume, that there's more to this. Yeah, there are two other
Faraday's miracle.
units, so that's what this number means. So I'm expecting two other people, and then the story will continue.
These are merely clumsy sophisms. We've all seen her break the maxim.
Objection! What you see cannot be submitted to the court as a transcendental fact. It's nothing but the fragments of the phenomenal world which can't be used in your argument.
Objection sustained. Please, ladies and gentlemen, keep the debate logically consistent.
I still don't get why this debate is forming the way it does, but I'm here to kick
Since
ass and chew
Soneto
bubblegum.
has no number, and a person without a number does not exist before the truth, Soneto thus didn't offend your truth. She didn't break any rules.
And I think that's it. So we move this there.
Loading.
Then we shoot this
Barrage.
woman to death, which did not take long at all. Again,
Objection!
I am
The
overleveled.
rule breaker has a number. We can all tell that she is very likely an integer.
But it hasn't been officially known yet.
Therefore, she should be identified as an unknown number, not void. Your sophism has failed.
42's argument is held valid. Is there anything else you'd like to add, defendant?
Tell you a secret, Vertin?
What is it?
We would call criminals negative numbers.
I got it!
And
Circuits
I
functioning
believe this is going to
properly.
be the last thing, actually. To further shame my opponent here, just by instantly killing him, we'll use the Vertin's special skill, which is something that you use for as much material as you have. I don't remember what this is called at this point.
Circuits
so
functioning
use that,
properly. Allow
then
me to
we
double
do
check the
this.
battery level. I, robot,
Get Lucy
child
to
of
do her ult
science.
again so that all of her attacks basically ignore defense. God, she's so good. But in the future, from what I've been
The light
seeing,
that illuminates all.
Lucy will be power crept, but why not
It is
Robot
easy
Lady?
to prove Soneto's innocence. According to the law of the excluded middle, Soneto either committed a sin or committed no sin. The two statements cannot be both false at the same time. Since we consider a criminal as a negative number, and a non-criminal as a positive number, Soneto at present is considered an unknown number.
I have no idea how Vertin was able to surmise all that from 37 giving her that kind of clue, but you do you, Vertin.
That means she doesn't belong to the criminal set, or the non-criminal set. She did not commit a sin, and did not commit no sin. It's a paradox. I hereby demand to modify the criminal sentence that has been given to Soneto.
The law of excluded middle. A good sophism. We will apply it. Vertin, Good for you to create a paradox from one sentence of my argument. But pitifully, you've made a fatal mistake. You've taken my argument as the basis of your defense. I said people without a number should be expelled from the Hall of Truth. You don't have a number either, Miss Outsider. Based on my argument, which has also been approved by you, I argue that all your arguments are invalid.
There's no time left.
13 has a number. I saw it.
37, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah. I read her number. Just now. 13's number is 0.
Typical protagonist shenanigans, where the protagonist, when you put the protagonist in a number scale, so to speak, they're usually like, to use Persona as a comparison, it's the Fool. It's the first major Arcana tarot card, and it's usually the most flexible because it can be anything and everything all at once. Meanwhile, the number 0 is the beginning and also the end. So there's a lot of heady conversations to be had here, but sadly I am not smart enough to dissect all of that, and would probably extend the length of this video to uncomfortable lengths.
Come closer. That's right. Take a few more steps and immerse yourself in the shadow, including that hat. You don't want those good ears to hear this private conversation. That pad of paper from the miss, yes, the one wielding the ruler, is quite valuable. I can tell it is of a certain age and records quite a lot of anecdotes. One visitor to the island took out a baguette from his luggage. To share it with others, he made an attempt to parcel it off. Another visitor fell to the ground and happened to sit on a quart measure and break it. You can learn the punishments for them from the paper. The former was thrown into the sea, while the latter into the further sea. Only God knows how this wine-dark sea holds so many visitors.
Perhaps they can also resort to the debate. Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, the debate! That's really a pain in the neck for that logical, pragmatic assistant of yours, isn't it? People always tend to mark what they can't figure out as arcanists' doings, as if things would make sense once they do so.
That's actually a very valid point, mysterious voice.
But it won't change the fact that the debate is only a game involving sophistry, improvisation, and straw man fallacy. So what makes it superior to beans, if the form is what they are really after? Anyways, whoever fools the others first will win the game. No arcanum at all.
So this isn't a battle of sound logic, it's just a battle of wit, and trying to dissect your opponent as far down as possible until they can no longer rebut your statements. Which I know a few people who've been in debate clubs, and they can get very pedantic depending on what you say. So it's giving me not so nice flashbacks, but at least outside of the debate scenario, they're actually real nice people.
And that argument of hers is the best attraction for the audience. A special number. A 0.
The boundary between positive and negative numbers, huh?
You are neither positive nor negative, which means you don't belong to either side. Now, imagine one side as an orderly line and the other as those wandering around. The wanderers can smell the abnormality in you, and of course, no one in that line sees you as one of them. In a restaurant, fruits are served without the seeds, but in a farm, the seeds are retained for the next harvest. Is there any value in the seeds? It depends on what you see when you look at them. The moment you realize that, you have come to the crossroad of fate. Now, back to the number we just talked about. Oh my! It's the prediction of your whole life. Can you believe that? You owe that spirited little genius a thank you. By the way, what do you see in her number?
It's a clever trick.
Ah, yes, of course. 37 is larger than 0. But it's not so stable as 0. These prime numbers, they are just hard to divide because they have very few things in common with others. That's why she's always so energetic, highly and solely focused on what she takes an interest in. She has nothing like the characteristics of the ones you know in the Gray and White House. Those people are proud of themselves for having kind-hearted factors around them.
Jesus Christ, that's, I actually understood that. Holy crap. Oh my god, she just insulted the Foundation in a very roundabout manner.
As their teaching goes, it's always dangerous to be unique.
Yep.
But some look up at her again and again, exactly because they can sense the danger in her. You are also a good example. You've been looking up, haven't you?
I think she was referring to not only the Foundation at that point, but she was also referring to 37, which is amazing. Good God. She was talking about like 2, maybe 3 things at once there. Good God. This little anecdote here is, oh boy. Let's just move right along with the story. There is an outbreak of muttering among the white robes. Even the solemn judge stands up.
37. You just said Vertin's number is 0. Do you know what it means?
Very clearly.
Would you be able to submit proof to a Peyron?
There we go, that's how you pronounce it. A Peyron.
No problem.
Half of you in this hall have put in the pebbles. If 37's argument is found to be true, every argument Vertin has spoken in Sonetto's defense will be deemed valid. Sonetto will be exempt from the punishment. I will announce the result once 37's proof has been validated by a Peyron. Thank you for your time.
And this meeting has been adjourned. Just like that. One after another, the Apeiron followers leave the hall. The Hall of Truth returns to tranquility. Yeah, even I would be stressed out of my gourd after that one, Jesus. She slowly sits on the floor in a lackluster manner.
Sonetto! Timekeeper, I'm so sorry. I tried my best, but still I couldn't understand the debate. I failed again.
This is Sonetto saying in a very roundabout manner, please, my lover, hug me. I need support right now. That was so hard. It was a long day in the office, and I need you right now. Her face becomes abnormally pink, and her breathing becomes fast and shallow.
What happened to her? We need to move her outside.
210 stepping in, which is interesting.
Lie her down on the ground and wipe her palm and feet with dew and peppermint oil.
I think after the debate thing, basically this is 210 in non-work mode, you know. This is in the Hall of Truth, you know, when we're working, so to speak. I will be very, very competitive about it, but you know, when we're done, there's still a human element to it, you know?
That would be okay.
Her physical signs are becoming more and more stable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The distinguished number 0.
The man shrugs his shoulders.
I'm kidding. I'm 210. Well, instead of the number, I prefer people call me the rhetorician.
I've heard your preachment. Pretty demagogic.
The man nods, looking amused.
That's how logic works. With logic, I can prove that you'd cease to exist in the next moment, or that there are no other people in this world except me. Achilles can never outrun a tortoise, and a flying arrow is forever motionless.
Jesus Christ, you have minor reality warping capabilities? As an arcanist? Jesus.
This debate is nothing but meaningless wordplay.
That's exactly what happened.
That pacifist let you off this time. 6. A perfect number indeed. For he knows the benefit of reconciliation. Who wants to have blood on their hands and be devoured by the cycle of hatred? Yet it's a torture for any intelligent mind to hear such an immature debate. Can you feel the suffering of our leader now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
210 gives her a triumphant smile. 210, if I prefer to do it
No
that way.
apology needed, Miss Outsider. I also feel sorry for your pain. given that 37 has revealed your number.
What do you mean?
37. Our evil little genius. The most cunning star of Hermes. She's been having fun revealing others' numbers for a long time. Our numbers are our essence. And it's also the most important proof we get once in our lifetime. But she enjoys taking that opportunity away from you. Just because her talent allows her to do so.
Okay, so 37 is what you would call a prodigy. Jeez.
She did that to her friend, too. She found out Sophia's number.
And she has not told anyone.
But without casting an eye on
us.
that paper with her number on it, Sophia threw it into the sea. Sophia is Sophos. But you... I pity you.
Oh, did Tutan just speak in Greek just now? Because I did hear the word wise. Interesting. Huh.
It doesn't seem like trouble to me.
Alas, poor little Vertin. You still don't understand.
And nobody would. No normal person would.
The number of our souls suggests our fate. It might be changed through algorithms temporarily, swirling, shifting, or transforming alongside other changes occurring on the coordinate axis. But in the end, we can only be ourselves. 1 is thought. 2 is opinion. 3 is wisdom. 4 is strength. 5, enthusiasm. 6, harmony. 7, order. 8, philanthropy. 9 is restraint, while 10 is completion. 0, however, is in the middle of the axis, the origin of the frame of reference. It's neither positive nor negative, neither prime nor composite. Things are ever changing, but you stay the same.
Wait. Given that she's the Timekeeper, oh god, the implications of what 37 just did to us is insane. Or rather, what she said and revealed to the rest of the, well, cult, let's just call them a cult, they basically revealed who Vertin is to them without, being a normal human about it. So, or to be even more precise, in a language that they can understand.
Your loneliness also lasts forever.
Or to add to that, this is just me, in my limited understanding of the deeper philosophical aspects of this game, which, don't get me wrong, I highly, highly appreciate the writing team to do something like this, something extremely out of left field, something that is not normally consumed through normal means. It is extremely refreshing to see stuff like this, but the ordinary average man, to fully comprehend everything that is being talked about in stuff like this, definitely will not happen 100% of the time. But to enjoy the entertainment aspect of it, that is something that we can do.
This is your fate. Being exposed in full view of the crowd, yet you know nothing about it.
Exactly what I said.
37 was acting on impulse. Yet she opened Pandora's box. She leisurely reveals your fate. That carefree behavior makes no difference to picking up a shell on a beach. How could I not pity you?
The man waves his hand and walks away. The air is still, and only the sound of the waves come from afar.
Miss Vertin.
Oh, hey, 6. The leader stands in the dark.
37's proof has passed the review. Your friend will now be exempt from the punishment for violating the rules. However, she has to take some catch-up lessons on the scripture.
So she's being made to do community service instead, which, to be honest, that's a preferable way to go about things.
Please, meet me at the hall tomorrow at noon. I would have words with you.
In this life, there are 3 kinds of men. There are 3 sorts of people who come to the Olympic Games. The lowest class is made up of those who come and sell, and then those who compete. Best of all, however, are those who look on. The greatest purification of all this, therefore, science, and it is the man who devotes himself to that. The true philosopher has effectively... I was reading that game. Can I read that?
Before this negotiation begins, I wish to tell an allegory to the 2 of you.
Can I read that? There we go. Alright, let's go through this entire thing. In this life, there are 3 kinds of men.
A group of people were imprisoned in a cave.
6. I'm reading.
Behind
Wait
them,
a bit. Oh my
there
fucking
was a
god.
fire. Before them was a tall, solid wall.
Fine. We'll get to your story first.
Their legs and necks were chained and fixed, so they were constrained to look nowhere but to gaze at the wall in front of them.
I can't even,
When they
skip
dropped their
past this.
eyes, they saw their own body. When they looked up, the flickering light of the fire fell over them, and they only saw the shadows of what was passing behind them. No one had lived one day outside the cave. The shadows cast on the wall all there was to be perceived as reality. They had no knowledge of the real world. One day, one of them escaped from the cave, walked into the light, and saw the true world with his own eyes for the first time. Everything he saw or felt in the cave was nothing more than a mere shadow of the object's true form.
I know this story, actually. This was, one guy decided to look outside and realized that the world is much larger than it looks. And then
Our world is a poor one, Miss Verton.
And then he goes in to tell his friends that, hey, there's a world outside. But since before he discovered that, all three of them knew nothing beyond what was in the shadow, what the shadows in the cave were, they didn't believe him because they thought that the world was just that, shadows. Which, okay, I don't know where exactly you're going with this, Six, but let's go back to the philosopher. In this life, there are three kinds of men, just as there were three sorts of people who come to the Olympic Games. The lowest class is made up of those who come to buy and sell, and next above them are those who come to compete. Best of all, however, are those who look on. The greatest purification of all this, therefore, science, and it is the man who devotes himself to that, the true philosopher, who has most effectually released himself from the wheel of birth. I don't get it. I read it all, and I don't know where this is gonna go, but, Six told us a slightly more digestible story compared to that one. Good God, I'm only on, the 5th chapter, and this game is already giving me a headache.
The phenomenal world is the cave in this allegory, where we are surrounded by shadows or some humble fractions of the truth.
Okay, he's actually explaining it in a terminology that I can understand.
It is ugly, frivolous, filthy, perishable, subject to decay, and filled with hollow desires and meaningless struggles. Only the wise can walk out of that cave and see the world as it truly is. In that eternal, transcendent world, everything is in its most perfect form.
Okay, you're sort of losing me here, but I can still follow.
You, Miss Verton, the representative of St. Pavlov Foundation, and you, Miss Arcana, her counterpart of Manus Vindicte, would pay heed to my words. Everything you've been fighting each other for means no more than some fragments of phenomena to us.
He talks as if Arcana is in the room. Where is Arcana?
There's only one thing worth doing. That is, to seek higher wisdom, develop one's virtue, and achieve greatness in life. We have never set foot on the soil dampened by the storm, nor have we ever been involved in the disputes brought by the torrents of time. I beg you, do not take your conflict in the phenomenal world into the realm of truth.
For certain.
Oh, Jesus Christ, she has been in the room for a long time. Also, hi! I missed your sexy bod. There you go. This is the big boss of the Manus Vindicte, and I don't know why Verton would be in the same room with her and not react very violently. Also, I'm just noticing now that her hair is patterned in such a way that it covers her cleavage. Very smart of you, Blue Hawk. Very smart of you.
It was never my intention to sully the sanctuary of truth.
I'm also just noticing now that she has eyes that has seen shit and will not let go. Holy crap.
Then, to prevent a situation like this from happening again, I would like to ask you two to carve your names on these 2 stone bangles and drip a drop of your blood on each of them.
I can only imagine that this is extremely magically charged.
Once the bracelet is put on, no one will be able to remove it. From now on, as long as you're on this island, none of your people will draw blood from one another.
Is it a magic thing, or is this just a ceremonial, visual thing?
Or the bangle shall draw all the blood from you.
Okay, it's magic.
The peace agreement is so decided.
Arcana stretches out her hand gently and takes a bangle.
I appreciate that. I'll sign it.
The leader gives a slight nod. He looks out from the table and simply strides away. Did we miss a chapter? Why is Arcana here, like, immediately? Or do I need to have gone through the... there's actually an event. Sadly, the event is, like, long finished at this point, but if you collect enough penumbra cans, which is, like, this game's currency for looking at, or rather having access to past events, you can look at past events. And I think there's an event that involves this, like, entire math cult and the Manus Vindictae, but I'm not quite sure if it's necessary to go through that event in order to fully know what happened here. But the fact that Arcana is here immediately without, you know, so much of an explanation is kind of baffling to me. Like, why did we skip a chapter somewhere? The bangle feels real in their hands. It certainly possesses some sort of power to fulfill the blood pledge.
The peace agreement.
Someone is approaching. Yes, she is still here, from the beginning to the end.
Lady Vertin, we meet again.
Hey, sexy.
I wish the best to thy friend.
No wonder there's this, like, really cracked-ass ship between Vertin and Arcana. Good God. I'm not quite sure if Vertin ever acknowledges Arcana's, you know, at any point, but hey, I would, so...
She's doing well, thanks to you.
You're most welcome. Thou shalt quench, for times hath changed. I would not wish to shed even a drop of arcanist's blood in vain.
But Schneider should be the victim of a merciless bullet?
She is still mad about her girlfriend dying like that. Oh, please, don't laugh like that. You are doing things to me.
Vertin, my pitiful child. Did you forget? That merciless bullet cameth from a gun never belonging to me.
What's Manus Vindictae's purpose to be here?
Hearken the archaic wisdom, just as thou doest.
The stone bangle is hot, almost scalding.
I am not surprised. I adore thy visage, Lady Vertin, emotionless in the storm.
Jesus fucking Christ, this is hot.
Alas, no man shall bravest the storm and live, including thee.
Her words sound as harsh as the winter gale. An emotion suddenly comes. It's like, it's raging like a bushfire, but soon gets tamed down. Is that just a euphemism for a boner? I'm not. I'm just too horny to be reading into that. So we'll just move right along.
A wooden box in the Elitiao's base has my name on it. Was that your doing?
Sadly, it wasn't. I hope thee findeth the answer satisfactory.
The figure of Arcana disappears in the night. Stone bangle at the wrist becomes subtly heated.
It's burning.
Something is slithering in the woods nearby.
Is that Miss Arcana? Miss Arcana! Please, don't go! Save us! And save us!
Two weary figures run past Vert. They are chasing after their leader desperately, as if they are running away from some horrific monsters. Following them, a petite figure rushes out of the woods.
No! Come back! Come back!
Jesus Christ.
You ignorant foreigners! I just started introducing vectors and matrices, and that's the most interesting part!
Of course. Of course it had to be you. Of course it had to be you. Of course it had to be... Just... Oh my... You're doing a good job. Gold star for you.
Vertin! Great!
Stop them.
You always show up at the right time and right place! Stop the masked people! Whatever it takes!
Oh my god. That is not... fine, because you say so.
Oh, look at you, climbing out of the cave in the allegory, all dusty and dirty like a little savage. They must have tried to fill your little brain with long preachment. But you should feel lucky, because at least they didn't give you a quiz right after that.
Unfortunately, what they said was true.
Oh, how modest you are. Looks like you didn't spend all your student days catching tree frogs.
Hey, that's mildly insulting, because that's all what Vertin did when she was younger.
Try to reach the corners of your mind, if you would. And there you will find another bunch of people standing in front of a stone table. Yes, those people in gowns. White gowns with gray diamond patterns. One of them was standing on the stairs, gathering all the little vacant eyes to his side. What was he called? Give me a second. Teacher, instructor, tutor, the educator. Just titles like that. No names at all. No one gets to write down their names on that banner, after all. But they have nothing to complain about. You know what they say? What is reasonable is real. That which is real is reasonable. They showed you a broad avenue in their teachings where you could enjoy a sense of security with all the solid ground, convenient automobiles, and warm sunshine. And at the end of the avenue even lies an inspiring mission, to which you are expected to devote your whole life. There is a distinction between good and bad here, and it's as clear as our innate sense of right and wrong, like a floor of black and white tiles. Any stains on it will be noticed immediately. But in fact, there exists another path in the woods. It's much less traveled, leading to the unknown darkness which cannot be seen with eyes or proved false. You may even experience indescribable chaos and madness there. This path, however, has an excellent view, and it's one of a kind. The plants are thriving with bursting energy, and the flowers are blooming in a delightful atmosphere. So, which will you take?
I think I'll take the avenue.
Oh, of course, as you've been on it all the time. But that's exactly why you know how inflexible it is. You know that even better than any of those old fellas who have spent decades on it, don't you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Just because you've been on it doesn't mean you can expect a comfortable journey, darling. But luckily, there's still one more way you can take. It would be a good choice if you want to enjoy the scenery without getting lost in the darkness.
What other way?
I'm sure you know that myth. You shall take the soul of your love out of the underworld, yet you shall not look back. That's right. You shall pass by the sleeping sirens, yet you shall not make a sound. The ones with the belief set off. They entered the dark woods barefooted, yet moved so smoothly, as if they were walking on the avenue. They kept their mouths shut and eyes forward. They never turned back, never picked up what was not theirs, never set foot on the forbidden lands, and never looked straight at the sacred greatness. They showed frugality, patience, and wisdom in the face of hunger and danger. So the beasts continued to lurk in the shadow, and the ones with the belief passed through the woods safely until the path disappeared along with the direction sign. Then the first one to look back gave an exclamation before being exiled.
Is it really reasonable to take that?
Think about what I just said. That which is real is reasonable.
And what is reasonable is real.
Never look back in the woods, darling. If you don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt which can do nothing but wail, then never, ever look back. Yes, we'd better stay awake, stay calm, stay cautious all the time.
Be paranoid, got it.
But then there comes the problem. How can you ignore your love for those thriving plants and blooming flowers? How are you supposed to deal with the unstoppable feeling that overflows like a melody when it is stirred up by the beauty of the scenery? Of course, you will cry the loudest cry, dance the wildest dance, drink the strongest drink, and vomit all the filth inside you. After all, there is no need to enter the woods if the soul-stirring scenery is not what you are after.
It doesn't
Right?
sound like a good way.
No. So you'd better let it slip your mind, darling. Just let it go and hurry forward. Remember to keep your eyes shut and hold your breath.
Then what was the entire point of this conversation if you just want me to just turn a blind eye to everything?
When you do so, the scenery will no longer mean anything to you, nor will the fragrance of the flowers. You will get out of the woods and reach where the truth lies.
Huh. So eventually we will get there. I'll just have to wait and see.
Is that what you want? Don't worry. We have plenty of time. You may come back at any time and pick another way.
Congratulations, Miss Sonetto. You are the fastest learner of our doctrine among all the visitors in the past half-century. On behalf of all orators, I award you this laurel wreath.
No, I wouldn't have achieved this without your guidance.
Oh, Shetri looks cute.
Those mathematic statements are really inspiring. I've learned a lot. But there's still something confusing me, such as Pythagoras and his golden thigh, his memory of the previous lifetimes as the son of Hermes, and the transmigration for every 216 years. Could you please tell me more about these?
The door is violently kicked open. Two outsiders, heads dropping to their chests, are dragged into the Hall of Truth.
Why would people fail to see the charm of the matrices?
Because you're the one explaining it, 37, and you never really stop. Okay? Another gold star, just to appease you.
This is not right. I need to spend more time on teaching.
No, you just need to shut up. Unfortunately. You need to know when to stop, okay? Just calm down. Not everybody needs it, but good God, girl.
Anyone, save us!
Thus my journey of art is doomed to fail. I really don't want to study maths anymore.
I don't even feel pity for these two guys. Yeah, nobody cares that they're yelling. And she continues to grumble to herself. The two men are dragged into a different room. They will never be seen ever
Timekeeper.
again.
You are here. I heard that you completed all the lessons on the scripture. This laurel wreath suits you well.
Yet Sonato keeps her head low. Exactly.
Timekeeper, I'm sorry. At the assembly, I failed to understand the arcanist logic. It was totally different to the debates I have participated in. But now I have...
That was not your fault, Sonetto. It is now behind us. I need to tell you something more important. I've signed a peace agreement with Arcana, and the price of breaking it is... death.
What?
Yeah, I would like to know how Arcana got roped into this as well, so...
So Manus Vindictae is also restrained by the stone bangle like we are.
The chief assistant ponders aloud, having already removed her laurel crown.
Yes. She put it on without hesitation. But I don't think her purpose would be as simple as hearkening the ancient wisdom.
Unlike other stones in the Foundation's collection, this one has... What? Oh my god, it looks harmless, moderately...
I attacked Manus' followers earlier as 37 asked me to, but I received no punishment from the bangle.
Okay, unlike other stones in the Foundation's collections, this one has no signs of arcane skill on it. Before it is activated, it looks harmless, rough, moderately weighted, and no different from other ordinary stones.
Perhaps this island makes its own judgment on what to be classified as hostility. Like it has a mind of its own. Sonetto, do not report this to the headquarters before we figure out how the bangle works. After all, there are many other things to investigate on this island, other than Manus Vindictae.
I see. I will contact Miss Druvis and Miss Moisson first and keep an eye on Arcana. Timekeeper, this island, the Manus' mask, and your suitcase are all immune to the storm. Does this mean we could collect more asymmetrical nuclide R samples?
I tried to collect some samples last night in the outer region of the island, but the detecting device showed nothing. If we were to find out more, we have to go to the center area.
What are you conspiring now?
Hey, Sophia.
Do not poke the fire with swords. And do not jump over a crossbar. The assembly will not be held every time when there's a crime. Please take heed of my warning, and do not overstep the line. Learn a lesson from them.
Behind Sophia, two gray-coated figures appear. They're finally out. One disheveled, the other covered in soot, as if they had just survived an explosion.
Lilia, didn't you say you have Regulus with you safely?
Apologies, Vertin. I was going to rescue Sonetto through a very creative underground tunnel, but things didn't quite go as planned.
Regulus shimmies in a dance-like step, trying to shake off the dust.
Not a bad innovation for a simple clap on the forehead. If only you didn't miscalculate the location of the explosion.
This apple is grateful that it didn't get blasted into a puddle of apple jam.
I don't think there will even be any apple jam when something explodes near you.
Warning. Shell cleaning required. Warning.
Oh god, and Ms. Radio even got dirty.
I don't know why, but when I was in that cave, ideas kept flooding into my head. Though, judging by the outcome, they weren't all good ideas.
Fia puts her hand on her forehead, looking extremely fatigued.
On a routine patrol, I found them trying to break into the cave. I'm not surprised that an irrational number would try to trespass on forbidden grounds. But you two? The integer and the fraction? What were you doing with her? This is a serious crime.
Life has suddenly become a lot more difficult.
Do we have to go through this debate again? It's okay, Timekeeper. I will defend Regulus. I've thoroughly studied the scripture, and this time I'm sure I can do better.
Forget it.
Sophia mutters to herself.
Forget it. It is unwise to waste time trying to understand an irrational number's motive. Besides, we should let the reckless take care of the least important matters.
She gives them a smirky smile. She literally just put down Regulus like that. She didn't even throw her under the bus. She literally let her drown under the water. Jesus.
That's it. Regulus, you will come with me to clean the beach.
Jesus Christ.
Huh? Me? Again?
Yes.
Since you have too many floating points, words of discipline would not work on you. We would have suggested you study with the rest of the students here. Abstain from eating meat, bathe in cold water, rise with the Apollo star, study our doctrine, read the scripture aloud on the beach, so as to remove your floating points and purify your soul.
What? I won't do any of that.
But taking your peculiar character into consideration, I decided that some compulsory labor would be the better option.
That's actually a smart idea, Sophia. Regulus also smiles in relief.
Oh, that's the best news of the day. I'd rather clean up the rubbish on the beach than be surrounded by people giving sermons all the time. At least the rubbish doesn't talk gibberish. I'd be dead if you didn't change your mind.
Regulus, studying the scripture is not that scary. They will teach you and guide you until you take full command. Just like taking lessons at school.
Huh? Is that what schools are like?
Oh shit, she's uneducated.
Haven't you been to a school, Regulus?
Haha! A great pirate would not remember trivial matters as such.
So she was not formally educated. Holy shit. I did not know that.
So, where were we? Which part of the beach needs to be taken care of by the great captain?
My laboratory.
Since when did you get here?
Whoa! Where did you pop up from?
You're always in places no one expects you to be in. She blinks her eyes emotionlessly and entirely ignores Regulus's complaint.
37. Aren't you supposed to preach to the visitors?
They've been taken care of.
I've seen their numbers. A group of negative repeating infinite decimals. They will achieve nothing but to repeatedly step in the river of mistakes. I gave up on them.
No, that's actually correct.
Fine.
That sigh carried a lot of weight there, Jesus.
Those of you who are complicit in breaking into the cave will also be sent to labor. Sonetto and Lilia will come with me to patrol. Regulus, you can go clean the lab. As for Verton, you will assist 37 with her study of the emanation. Don't waste more time on the trivial matters of the phenomenal world. Integers.
Again, calling us that out loud seems like a slur.
That was the sole reason you were on this island, was it not?
Sophia turns around and leaves. She stops a few steps away from them, silently urging the patrol team to move.
Don't let down your guard. The arcanists on this island are not as easy to deal with as you imagined. Down in the cave, I heard some pretty alluring and intriguing anecdotes.
Miss Lilia, this way. You will cover this area.
Stay on the radio.
The flying witch waves her hand and departs for her new job determinedly. Sonetto hesitates for a brief moment, then quickly goes after her.
Don't worry, Timekeeper. Lilia and I will keep an eye on Manus Vindictae. We are counting on you, Sonetto.
I have a feeling we are coming closer to a big secret.
And that concludes our little run through the story mode today. We learned quite a lot about the inhabitants of this island and a lot more about Verton and the current cast and crew than we thought. So, oh boy, we are in for quite the journey here on Math Island, or Math Cult as some people have called it. But we are all out of time. So if you guys like to see more of Verton's misadventures, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.